So I see these YouTubers out there making videos about Red Dead Online. They seem to just be following the trends and fishing for content and views and not really understanding the fundamental problems with what's wrong with Red Dead Online and how it compares to the original Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer. I have 60 days tracked in the original Red Dead Redemption 1. I'm ashamed to say that equates to 1400 hours of online game time, and that's just from one of my accounts. So what is the real problem with Red Dead Online? First of all, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Rockstar has definitely added value to its previous game, but it's also taken things away, and no one seems to be talking about this. So here's a couple of points outlining what's been taken away. I still remember the days of hardcore freeroam, the freeaim sessions of Red Dead Redemption 1, meeting fellow players in the dusty town of Armadillo, the desolate deserts of Cholla Springs, the buffalo fields of the Great Plains, and the great mesas of the Mexican desert. I remember meeting strangers in Armadillo and having one-on-one standoffs in the middle of the street, walking those 10 paces, turning around and shooting my Lamette revolver as fast and accurate as I could. I remember hearing of great gunslingers, ones that could drop you with a single shot 6 times in a row without reloading, ones that could headshot you a mile away from the back of a zebra donkey at full speed, ones that would put a tomahawk between your eyes before you even had the chance to let off your first shot. Hearing of players so good, I assumed they had to be lag switching or using mods, until I came up against them and realized that these guys and girls were just straight hardcore players. These players were renowned throughout the hardcore community. They were feared, they were admired, they were respected, because they took the challenge, they learned how to shoot, they learned the game, and they played it not because it was easy, but because it was hard. What is a game without competition? There's reasons why we play these games, why we spend hours and hours of our time looking at a screen and twiddling our thumbs. What a lot of it comes down to is positive brain chemistry. It's that thrill of the chase, it's that final boss fight, that super rare loot that's going to give you a big buff on DPS or defense, that mysterious story plot with its twists and turns, that Minecraft house you built from trees you cut, stone you mined, and your multicolored sheep called Jeb. Or it's simply just a fun game. But when it comes to multiplayer and PvP, it's only one thing. It's competition. Whether we admit it or not, it's seeing your name on the top of the leaderboards, getting that kill streak, owning that guy who said you're garbage or called your mum a bad word. And when you actually own that guy or kill that enemy, it's not a trophy, it's not a piece of in-game currency or in-game loot that you chase. It's that sense of achievement you feel. It's that reward, not because it was easy, but because it was hard, and you did it. But it's not fun when everyone can do it. If anyone can come along and hold 2 buttons and flick their analog stick up and get an auto-aim kill, there is no challenge, there is no reward. Do not fool yourself. It's not hard. Saying free aim isn't important is like asking why should a multiplayer game be competitive. It's like giving every single Battlefield and Call of Duty player the access to aimbot. It's like driving a car in Gran Turismo but having no control over where that car is going, only the acceleration. How long do you think the player base is going to last? And you see it happening right now. We are losing tons of players from Red Dead Online. There are literally tons of free aim players who have not played the game simply because the multiplayer does not include free aim only servers. And that is crazy, Because some of these free aim players love this game. They absolutely love this game. They love the series. They love the previous game. And they can see how much more value Rockstar has added to Red Dead Redemption 2 and its multiplayer. But they can also see what they have taken away. The people that love this game, some of them 20 to 30 years old, a generation of gamers brought up on Rockstar games, brought up on rich open worlds, mapped after New York, London, Miami, and of course Los Angeles, but also brought up on a free aim system. A free aim system that sucked at first, but they learned to live with it. And as they grew, the games grew with them. But now those free aim players feel like they are forgotten. They're left being frustrated, some resorting to using defensive mode or the slippery bastard ability card along with explosive ammo to fend off the horde of auto-aim players out there in Red Dead Online. This isn't competition or a constructive skill-based multiplayer. This is just chaos, and no one wins. By the basic laws of game theory, yes, games need to be fun, but they also need to be difficult. They need to be challenging. Challenge requires freedom of choice. This in turn creates diversity and complexity. It creates a player's unique choice and playstyle. When you limit a player's ability to be free, you reduce the complexity and you reduce the competitive challenge. Therefore, you reduce the reward, and most importantly, you take freedom and power away from the whole concept. Playstyle equality. Now, what I mean by playstyle equality is basically each and every person's individual way they like to play the game. From the inception of Rockstar games up until now, they have developed three main playstyles that different players fit into. So you have your single player style. These are either guys that just literally want to play the single player game, or they have finished the single player game and now want to play online with friends. He wants to do story missions, he wants to go fishing, he wants to go hunting, he wants to chill with his buddies, and he doesn't want anyone getting up in his business. He just wants to do his thing and just have fun. He doesn't want to be griefed, and this is a big problem we've seen in Red Dead Redemption 2 and GTA 5 as well. We got people who just want to have fun and chill, but the competitive players want competition, and that's where these playstyles affect each other negatively, and where the current system Rockstar has in place just doesn't work. Now you have the second playstyle. This is your auto-aim player, your casual gamer. He jumps into Red Dead Online and plays with default settings and plays auto-aim. He just goes around playing the game as intended currently by Rockstar. Some of these guys don't want to put a whole lot of effort into aiming. Killing people is as simple as holding L2, pushing up the analog stick, and shooting. They just want to casually play the game, and that's cool, that's fine. The third playstyle is your free aim player. These are people that turn the auto aim off. They turn assisted aiming all the way off. They chuck the sensitivity up and they want a challenge. They want to have full control over their aim, and in most cases want to see how fast they can take you down. They actually want a 1 minute or 5 minute gun battle that includes multiple shots and includes dodging and agility and maneuverability. They want control over their ability to actually kill someone, and in turn, when they do kill that person, actually have a feeling of accomplishment when they do. Now, what Rockstar has done wrong here is that in the original Red Dead Redemption 1, you had 3 different server groups. You had friendly freeroam that suited your single player. No conflict, chill, hunt, fish, and not be griefed by players. These guys could roam the vast land of Red Dead Redemption 1, still hang with friends and do hideouts and missions, but they didn't have to worry about being griefed. It was equal and fair. You also had your normal free roam, which was your auto aim service, where people could casually play the game using auto aim, and there was conflict and multiplayer PvP. And then lastly, you had hardcore free roam, where free aim players could all use free aim and shoot each other up and compete, and there were no auto aimers in the way, and you weren't unintentionally griefing dudes who just wanted to explore. Although the player base was split up, players all had their playstyle respected. Non-conflict hostile players got to play with fellow non-hostile players. Auto-aim players were able to play with other casual auto-aimers, and free-aim players got to enjoy competing against free-aim players. Players were respected. Although I respect Rockstar for trying to create a simultaneous instance where all players can play their own playstyle, there comes a point where you just have to acknowledge that this system just doesn't work. It causes more problems than it fixes. Red Dead Redemption 1's minimap displayed players in multiple colors. This allowed you to see and choose between which players you were engaging with and which players you weren't. Your posse members were an obvious white color, so there was no confusion. Not only did the color dots help you to understand who you were engaging and who you weren't, but you could identify players based on the color of their dot on the minimap and the player list. But in Red Dead Redemption 2, you only see blue dots for players. This makes things extremely confusing. You can't tell who is who, other than slightly brighter blue dots for your posse members and red dots for ones you are in conflict with or have high hostility. This system is terrible. Once again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't know why they didn't just keep the original color system that worked well in the original game. Right now, in Red Dead Redemption 2, you can only see players that are in the radius of your large radar. If they aren't inside that radar, then you won't see them unless you're doing a mission or in a posse or moving to the area. This is just crazy. Right now, it feels like a frickin' ghost town. Again, Red Dead Redemption 1 had a system where your blip or minimap dot would not appear unless you were running or shooting or simply just pressing X or A on Xbox. This worked well because at some point everyone is going to run or shoot in this game. It populated the minimap with player dots and you could actually tell where people are. In turn, if you didn't want to be seen, you could crouch and go stealth, where people could actually creep around, come up behind you. This added a great atmosphere to the game. I don't know if they have fixed this or ever are going to fix it, but voice chat seems to be map wide now. In other words, if you're on one side of the map on a hunting mission, you can hear that kid on the exact opposite side of the map, testing out his freestyle skills while playing some bass boosted trap music on his $10 microphone. I remember when voice chat was proximity only, when in the original Red Dead Redemption you'd only hear that kid if you rode into town. And oh boy, I'd love it when they rode into town. I'd soon have them either leaving town or leaving the session. But joking aside, this gave each town an atmosphere where new players could meet and talk in their own geographical area on the map. And if you wanted to broadcast your microphone to the whole map, you could. You would just hold the up button on your controller. You could call a guy out from Blackwater, get him to come down to Armadillo and have a little shootout with you. And if you were out in the wild, you could come across another fellow player, you could say hello. You could ask if they were friendly. And it was a conversation with you and that player, not 14 others. One of the biggest problems I've already stated in this video is that Red Dead Online is a ghost town. You will have a server full of people but not know where they are in the map. Red Dead Redemption 1 had a player list that not only showed each player name and corresponding color, but it also showed their location or region. So if something was going down, you could tell by a player list. You would see that 5 or 8 players were in Armadillo and 4 were scattered elsewhere in the map. This gave you the opportunity to seek out people, make friends, make enemies, whatever it did. It gave you an opportunity that again is something that's been left out of Red Dead Online. Now I come to the final point here, which is weapon balancing. Obviously, when it comes to any video game, you have overpowered weapons, right? And in a lot of cases, it's your explosive weapons. Now, in terms of Red Dead Redemption 1, there was an explosive weapon. You did have dynamite and you did have fire bottles, which would incapacitate a person. They would either fall over or have an instant death when they came across either a fire bottle or dynamite. But in terms of an actual weapon, a proper explosive weapon, there was the explosive rifle in the original Red Dead Redemption 1. Now this rifle was limited to 5 shots in the rifle. It was either 5 or 6 shots. Now when those shots were gone, there were no more. Alright, the only way to get the explosive rifle was to do a hideout, which took at least 5 to 10 minutes to do, and you had to be the one that got the maximum amount of points on that hideout. So if other people were doing it, they could beat you and get more points than you and then get the rifle, right? And if they got the rifle, then they'd probably blow you up. But if you wanted to get that rifle again, it wasn't something you could do in the next 5 minutes. You had to wait at least 15 to 30 minutes for the next hideout to respawn to get that gun again. Now if we compare that to Red Dead Redemption 2's multiplayer, you have guys that can buy explosive ammunition, right, and craft explosive ammunition. Alright, you see guys out there with their explosive arrows on their bow, and they are just going around just torturing people. I mean, it is torture. Okay, just getting blown up every single respawn that you get by a person is just ridiculous. That's not a well balanced game. Now, one of the biggest things that I loved about Red Dead Redemption 1 was the revolvers. Well, overall the weapon balancing, because this is a game where it has great weapon diversity. You have your revolvers from the 1860s, right? I mean, this is the period where the game is set, 1860 to 1912, right? And you have your revolvers like your Colt Army Navies or your Dragoons, these cap and ball and percussion cap firing revolvers. And then you've got your semi-automatics, you know, around 1900, 1905, 1910, 1911, right? You've got your semi-automatics there, like the Mauser pistol, the high-power Browning, and you got guys going up against each other with the old school weapons and the new school weapons. And I used to be one of these guys who used to roll a revolver, and I fucking loved this about the game, because I knew that if I was going up against someone, I knew at the very minimum I had to at least get 3 or 4 shots in this guy who's coming up against me, and then he would go down. Now I would have multiple guys come up against me with a high power Browning or a Mauser pistol that have a capacity of something like 10 to 15 rounds. I'd have a revolver which maybe had 6 to 9 rounds possibly, and they would just spray and pray. Alright, and you just have bullets going everywhere, right? And they weren't really planting their shots down on my body. They were just shooting in my general direction, hoping that their bullets got me. But with me, I would actually focus my shots on this person. Each and every individual shot was extremely important, and there was a lot of significance on each shot. And this is what created a great competitive multiplayer experience. Because as soon as you learnt that you could use a revolver and you learnt the significance of each and every shot, you learnt that, hey, if I can get each and every shot that I put out there on target, and I can do it fast and accurate, then I'm going to be quick at killing people, right? And that's where you had these guys out in this game that were absolutely amazing, because they would get their 3-4 shots in you as fast as possible, or they would just forget about that and just focus on headshots. And these guys were like it's like some athletic shit or something. These guys were just crazy. Alright, and some of them obviously you would question in terms of glitching or modding, but you could tell the good guys from the bad in most cases. And it was amazing to see. It was amazing to go up against someone and get absolutely owned by them, and then, you know, want to come back, play the game, and get better, and go out there and track that dude down, and give him another battle, and try and take him down. And that's competition right there. And that is the heart of a multiplayer game. And unfortunately, that seems to be forgotten in this game. Alright, so I'm going to wrap it up here. If you like this video, if you like what I've said, then give me a like, give me a comment. If you got some hate, give me some hate, whatever, it's cool. Give me some conversation. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't. Let me know if you think I missed something out. By the way, in no way, shape, or form am I talking about the single player game. Single player game, it's awesome. It is beautiful. It is a great story, especially if you've come from the original Red Dead and you're following on to this, and you're piecing the story together. Oh man, it's good. It's good. It's awesome. But they need to step their game up when it comes to multiplayer. It seems like they're working on it right now, and they're developing it right now. That's, you know, we've paid for this game. It should be 100% right now. And maybe I'm asking too much, I don't know, but I mean, that's what they did with the original game. I don't know why they can't do it with this one. Alright, thanks for listening.
Who are you trying to press? Steadily creating mess. Steadily